is Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring the little bell. Ring the little bell, so you are notified when new videos drop. And by jiggery, new videos are dropping all the time. You know what? I think I'm going to start a TikTok account today. Oh God, I actually put it on my phone last night and loaded it. It is pure evil. Okay. Absolute pure. I thought Twitter was bad. TikTok is horrible. Basically, it's designed so you got to keep scrolling, and it's like you just get assaulted by like all these images and I can't stand it. I absolutely. However, it's a good platform to use. So I think I'm going to start doing like 1 minute reviews, 1 minute videos. I'm going to start a TikTok account. If I do that today, it's going in the video notes. So go check it out. Listen, if you're not sure you want to shoot yourself in the head, okay, in the face, go get TikTok and see it. But if you do, go check out my TikTok. Okay, so I think it's fair to say that the entertainment media, in regards to Doctor Who, at least, are having somewhat of a bit of a moment of clarity, right? Having somewhat of a bit of like, just astounded revelations where they realize where we are, right? Where we realize what evil they have wrought, right? Because over the last few years, they've told us that the Jodie Whittaker Doctor Who is the bestest thing freaking ever. And everybody loves it. Anybody who doesn't like it is a terrible bigot. Right? The only reason they don't like it is because they don't like women. They don't like people with vaginas being in control. No. And they're evil, and they must be hounded off social media. So weird thing happened when they when Whittaker and Chibnall left. And you know, just the metrics are so unbelievably undeniable of what a disaster. I mean, like, there's only so much you can blame on Netflix, right? You know, like, yeah, it's like what was it when Bush was president? Bush 2 was president. It seems about every 3 to 4 months they had a news story that they've taken out the number 2 person in Al Qaeda. You can only do that so much. Okay, listen, there's only so many times you can say that before we go, yeah, right, okay. So, you know, they've told us it was the greatest thing ever. Now they're looking at the metrics, and the metrics are undeniable. And yeah, they're having a moment of clarity, what the alcoholics call moment of clarity, where they're looking around at the utter devastation that they have wrought, right? And they're trying to process it. And look, for me, it's reasonably amusing, because this is what we've been saying for years and freaking years. But for them, I imagine it's pretty difficult. And I can't help but think there's going to be a lot of moments of clarities like this coming in the future. You know, I think at one point people are going to wake up in America and realize that they're living in a totalitarian nightmare, which apparently they are. Yeah, I think people are going to wake up and look at their bodies and see how so many people have surgically altered themselves to change their gender or change things about them. And it's like they were kind of pressured into by society. You know, they kind of use social pressure and you know, I think they're going to look and go with horror. There's absolutely. So that's what I think is going on with the entertainment media, right? So, and listen, I hope I'm wrong about all the other stuff. I hope everything else works out fine, but it's not. The Doctor Who thing is a forerunner for what's coming, and the Doctor Who thing is something that I think the comic book media has been through as well, because they keep telling us it's the bestest time ever in comics. Bestest time. Like, I couldn't get any better. Nobody can make any money in comics, mainstream comics anymore. So everybody's jumping ship. And the big escape raft was crowdfunding. Now we've got this new thing called Substack. By the way, I think I'm starting a Substack account as well. I really like it. It'll be free. Okay, it'll be really. I got so many comics and stuff and writing and things like that to share with you guys. But yeah. They're all having, like, again, this moment of clarity. So we're going to be reading the Radio Times' one today. Man, how bad does it have to get before Hugh Fullerton? Hugh Fullerton is the shill-in-chief at the Radio Times. How bad does it have to get before he goes, man, this worked out badly, right? What happened? Screen Rant's doing it, Radio Times doing it. I can't wait till it gets to the real, the real hardcore weirdos. But before we get into it, can you hit the like button? Freaking awesome. Thank you very much. I like to be liked. I do like to be liked. That is true, actually. Can you hit the share button? Kind of like to be shared as well. Like, share, subscribe. Oh, man. for a couple of minutes there, after, was it last night when I turned my phone on and I looked to see what's going on in the world, my subscribers went over, what was it, 3130 or something like that. It went over something. I was like, oh wow, another benchmark. I'm really, really happy about that. And then YouTube took a bunch off. So, if you're subscribed, please make sure you're still subscribed. And if you're not subscribed, if you can consider it, that'd be really, really helpful. Thank you very much. And finally, my last appeal is, other than, look at so many stuff. My TikTok, Substack. I haven't started any. If I start TikTok, I think I have to do Instagram as well. They're both minute videos, so why not? Okay. Check out my Indiegogo, which I think this might be the week. This might be the week that we can finally get it to go to print. It was going to go to print about 2 weeks ago, about a week and a half ago. Got the print files completely ready, and I'm using a new printer, and they wanted it to be something 176 millimeters wide, and my print files were 178, and I could have just trimmed it. I could have just done boom with one thing trimmed, but it would have looked wrong. For me, it would have looked wrong. I think it would have been a little bit out of whack. It would have been 2% smaller than it should have been. It's essentially, and I couldn't do it. It's like, this is how freaking insane I spent. Must be 15 hours. Must be 15 hours fixing the first book, right? So, what is this Indiegogo? It's 2 comic books. Now I can tell. Now I begged you to have a look at it. I can tell you what it is. Biblical Bible Stories, 86 Races of Rational Rogue. This is the one I've just finished, okay? Every page I had to redo in this one by 2%. Like literally, it was a nightmare. I wrote and drew this. Other than the technical difficulties gone through getting this to print, it's a very good book. It's a very good book. I do recommend highly. We also got The Imperium, a love letter to telly fancy in the 1960s. James Bond, Emma Pill, Doctor Who, The Black Slave from 2001, and The Monkey in a Spacesuit, bit of Prisoner, bit of it went wrong way. Bit of Prisoner, bit of Thunderbirds. You name it. It's all in there, baby. 105 pages long. Never mind the quality. Fill the freaking width. And you get both books. You get a bunch of extras. The extras, I think, you're only getting on this campaign. But I'm going to continue the extras. My next campaign is also going to have the same sort of smut going all the way through it. It's just kind of the stuff I like. What do you want me to tell you? But you want the extras, you have to get on this campaign. You can buy the extras on their own, by the way. I hope you buy the comics. But either way, go check it out. Do you agree with me, Judge Anderson? Yes, Judge Anderson agrees. Fine. Let's have a look at this article. Doctor Who doesn't need to die. It needs to regenerate. Yeah, so this is in response to a article in The Guardian that came out about a month ago before the Comic-Con at Home appearance that told us nothing. That told, zip. And then a few days later, they told us Whittaker and Chibnall were leaving. Wouldn't that Comic-Con be a place to break that news, right? Wouldn't that be fun? No, I guess not. No. But before then, The Guardian, I can't remember who wrote it, saw the writing on the wall and said, "Oh my God, this is garbage. I think it's time to let it die." Because it has been garbage. I'm sorry to be the one to break it to you. It's been garbage. It's been allowed to be garbage because of media outlets such as this screaming that it's stunning and brave and the bestest thing ever, and anybody who doesn't like it is a bigot, right? And they do that to specifically ignore the many, many valid criticisms. And there's so many, and the terrible writing, the terrible casting. Jodie Whittaker is just simply not very good in the role. I understand she's the first woman to play Doctor Who. Well, she's not really. She's the, I guess, third. I mean, you got Joanna Lumley in Curse of Fatal Death, and Arbella Weir in Big Finish's Unbound series. Was it Arbella Weir? So yeah, listen, I understand this was they expected this to be just fantastic, and everybody would look at Jodie Whittaker and go, "Oh my gosh, that person has a vagina and not a penis. This is the best thing ever." So it didn't really work out that way, right? Because unfortunately, Jodie Whittaker's magic vagina didn't help the scripts get any better. They were really boring. Because look, Chris Chibnall isn't the best writer at the best of times. When his hands are tied behind his back with this insane agenda, I think it's much harder, right? I think it's much more difficult to be a good writer when you're not allowed to make characters who have any character flaws And you can't do that if they're a woman with if they're a woman firstly, but if a woman with non-white skin, well, forget it. They have to be perfect in every freaking way. Because these are crazy people. Anyway, so because that, everybody stopped watching Doctor Who. People kind of got bored of being lectured at by unconvincingly lectured at, really, by Jodie Whittaker, and they kind of switched off in droves. About 75% of people stopped watching because it was. Bottom line, it's not because of her magic vagina. It's because it was boring garbage. Right, people always come up with these yes, because of Netflix and Vim had to. No, you make crap, and it gets treated like crap, right? And I think the movie industry is finding that out as well. I think those big blockbuster movies are a thing of the past. I'm kind of happy about that, quite frankly. Fine, the departure of star and showrunner could be a new start for the sci-fi series. Well, yes, that's generally speaking what it is. Or a new finish, a final end. As Patrick Crowden would say, man, I'm looking forward to Evil of the Daleks. I am really looking forward to Evil of the Daleks. Web of Fear comes out tomorrow. I'm looking forward to that as well. That's the sort of thing I'll do a TikTok video on. I think I'm going to do my reviews here first, so like the lengthy reviews here first, and I'll do like the 1 minute ones a few days later. So you can get the catch ups later. That's basically how I'm looking at it. But deep issues still need to be addressed. I understand. The reason they still need to be addressed is because you spent the last 2 years telling me there are no deeper issues that need to be addressed. And again, deflecting any criticism by screaming anybody's a bigot or a racist if they don't like the boring crap that BBC was vomiting out in front of us. With the news of both star Jodie Whittaker and showrunner Chris Chibnall leaving, the big question hangs over Doctor Who will take over? Yeah, it is a big question. Will anybody take over? But others have asked a different, perhaps a more pressing question. Should Doctor Who continue at all? Well, not in the way it has been. I mean, it can, but what's the point? Right? I mean, honestly, what's the point? A recent Guardian piece suggested not. Critiquing Doctor Who for its inability to compete against the likes of monolithic Disney cash cows like The Mandalorian, Loki, and WandaVision. Yeah, no, that wasn't really what it was saying. It was saying that you need to relate. Doctor Who is something that's never been able to really go toe to toe with like the contemporary science fiction of the day, Star Wars, for example. It relied instead on very good scripting and very good acting. And look, honestly, for me, the production values were eminently passable since the revival. Right? I think it lacks good scripts and good scripts and good acting. Basically, it lacks care. I think actually like The Mandalorian, Loki, and WandaVision. Listen, Loki and WandaVision, I don't believe a word that comes out of Disney's mouth, quite frankly, right? I think they manipulate them because I think they're lying. I don't think Loki was successful. I don't think Winter Soldier was successful. I don't think WandaVision was successful. I don't think Black Widow was successful. I certainly don't think Shang-Chi's going to be successful, and apparently neither does Disney. They're already the Shang-Chi joys are on massive clearance, and I don't think the Eternals are going to be successful. I don't think any of it's going to be successful. I know Disney likes to say they're the most successful ever, and everybody loves it, and they're cash cows. They're freaking not. You know, they had worked out a way of detaching being able to make a good product from it being profitable. They had a good 10-15 year run of that. But it's over, mate. It's over. The Emperor's got new clothes. No, you're done. And also, you're done because, much the same reason on Doctor Who, the quality of your work has suffered greatly. And it suffered greatly because it focuses on agenda, it focuses on platforming rather than storytelling, which isn't the best of ideas, I hate to tell you. Not the best of ideas. To quote the piece, which was discussed online, Doctor Who's story arcs have gradually turned up to a spinal lap S11 and now can't be turned down. Well, yeah, they're talking about the Timeless Children, which is like, it was just ridiculous. I mean, it was like let's make it bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and now and then you made it so big it's not Doctor Who anymore. All right, so The problem wasn't the size of the revelation. The problem was the substance of the revelation. It's not completely an uncommon view. You don't have to go far online to hear a fan bemoaning a rapidly declining show. You're looking at one. And again, what am I supposed to say? I don't understand this idiotic point of view that says, they're doing absolute garbage. That is the antithesis of Doctor Who with the name Doctor Who. And that's what they're doing with Star Trek as well. Somebody who's loved it all their lives are supposed to just be like, no, shut up. This is what it is. And if you don't like it, you're wrong. No, shut up. Amazingly enough, we have the right of critique. Okay, we have the right of criticism. I understand that right of free speech is being severely curtailed, right? Severely curtailed throughout the world. And I understand that the people making Doctor Who do not like the right of free speech or the right of critique. They don't like either of them. It's because the reason people don't want anybody else to speak is because their ideas are incredibly weak. That's why. Okay, that's the entirety of why. So it's not completely uncommon view to go on, but past the show's revival Prime and gradually sinking into the Prime audio ooze of irrelevancy. Well, it is, again, but it's not because of age. It's not because of it's because of content. The content is bad. To some, whose current incarnation is no longer sustainable. Too big to succeed in a storytelling sense. Too big to... No! It's not too big to succeed. It's bad. What delusion is this bloke living under? Too big to succeed. It's not too big to succeed. It's just bad. I don't know how else to tell you. It's bad if you like Doctor Who, right? And that seems to be the overwhelming opinion of the viewing public and the fan base. So you still have your clump of insane people on Twitter going, but it's the best as ever, which I'm sure this bloke is one of. And this is his existential angst trying to work out how it all went so wrong. This is a dark example, but it really, really works. I used to work at Yad Vashem, the Israeli Holocaust Museum, years and years ago, right? And there's a picture there which the guy who was the tour guide I was working with at the time would always point out of is this guy, this Jew getting off a train, the Parisian Jew getting off a train at a camp, right? God knows where. There's a look on his face of just complete disbelievement where everything he was told he now knows it's a lie. And you can see in his eyes, like he can't, like the world falling apart, which it was going to be for him. He's going to be dead in an hour, right? It's the same thing, dude. What do you want me to tell you? We said it was coming. Now wait and see. I don't know. Yes, I'm sorry. You made this show irrelevant. Because in this insane attempt to be relevant, it's now just completely irrelevant to most people. Why? Because the things that you think are relevant aren't. You think, I understand you really want them to be, but they're not. I understand you really, really want to believe that black people or women face a systematically evil and oppressive society. It's just not the case, mate. Okay? It's just not the case. I know it makes your life easier if it was, but it's still not the case. To someone who's going too big to see in storyteller, was a suggestion of a break, a feature film, or even an anthology series featuring a Whoniverse character break the mold. Yeah, because it's so broken. Doctor Who is broken. Doctor Who went from being very successful to very broken very quickly. And it basically just took Jodie Whittaker and Chris Chibnall, right? That's all it took. But while these views could arguably be correct with regards to Doctor Who's problems, where they're wrong is the treatment. Doctor Who doesn't need to die. It needs to regenerate. Yes, it needs to regenerate back into Doctor Who. Right? Again, I say this pretty much every video now. Doctor Who should be a brilliant authority who's an anti-authoritarian. That's what Doctor Who should be. Jodie Whittaker's Doctor Who is a moron who is a massive, was it authoritarian? She's just a massive conformist. It's terrible. You need to go back to what Doctor Who actually is. And I don't know why they changed it from that. I mean, I really don't. I don't know what they thought I don't know what they thought was going to be their like how they thought it was going to work out, because it didn't work out. Really, that's just the point. It has not worked out. It needs to regenerate. Yes, it needs to regenerate. I understand these critiques of the show. In fact, I even agree with some of the issues raised. Really, because the wall that people like me in the media have banged their head on relentlessly for years, literally years, was there's nothing wrong with the show, there's something wrong with you, right? So now you agree with them. Where were you a year ago? Where were you 2 years ago? Right, exactly. You're the ones going, stunning and brave. Oh, so stunning and brave. Issue, but they place far too much blame on the show and not enough on who's navigating the ship. What the fuck are you talking? What? No. We place full blame on Chris Chibnall, right? Full blame on Chris Chibnall. Close second, Jodie Whittaker. The show is the people driving it. You freaking moron. It's not. What do you think it is? Do you think Doctor Who is a real thing? Yeah, what, you think he decides where to go, or she decides where to go each week, pressing the little control? It's all fake, mate. It all happens because the person in charge says, we're going to make that happen. And it happens the way they say. It happens, and then the way they say has been garbage. I place far too much blame on the show and not enough on who's navigating the show. I don't, listen, I can understand. There's going to be a push to say, look, Doctor Who's had its day. It's over. It was fun, but now it's over. Nothing to do with Chris Chibnall, who did a stunning and brave job. No. It's everything to do with him. Doctor Who's lifeblood is experimentation and imaginative ambition. I agree. You know what? I do agree. And every 3 years, it does reinvent itself to keep it contemporary. And I think Doctor Who is best when it's pushing boundaries. I think the later McCoy years were great because it pushed boundaries into something new and different. I like this. The Doctor talking a Dalek to death, or talking the scene in Happiness Patrol, actually more so than talking the Dalek to death, where he confronts these two like snipers. That was really interesting, dangerous stuff. And he had the whole Margaret Thatcher analogy, Fifi, all kinds of stuff. It was pushing the boundaries, doing interesting. Same thing with Malcolm Hugh in the poetry. In the poetry, it's a very contemporary, very pushing the boundaries. Yeah, it's very on the cutting edge. This has not been on the cutting edge. This is safe. The current era of Doctor Who is just safe and boring. Jodie Whittaker parrots whatever the morons who live on Twitter say, and that because she's a conformist, and conformists are generally speaking idiots who are boring, and that's just not a very good show. People don't want to see shows about idiots that are boring. People can't come into my channel, the exception, obviously. Okay, fine. The show was great. When Russell T Davies revived the show in 2005, the Doctor became more human than ever. He loved, he lost, he raged, he mourned. He defined the character at its core, fundamentally changing the show as a whole for better. Yeah, I think, he gave it a more, how do I describe it? He gave it a more layered and mature, it gave it a layer of emotional realism, I would say, to the show. And it really did. Like, the Doctor became a three-dimensional being. I think that was helped by Rose having a companion who was a three-dimensional person who anchored with a boyfriend, and that was the biggest change. With a boyfriend and a mother, a family, and a life, right? That I think humanized Doctor Who very much for the better. More recently, an introduction of a female Doctor gave a chance of redefinition again. But showrunner Chris Chibnall's era often felt like a step backwards towards classic Who's edutainment, ticking off social issues like boxes. Now, listen, I can understand a moron who doesn't know anything about Doctor Who or whatever they're talking about might think that, right? They absolutely might think, well, he just went back to very traditional Doctor Who. No, he didn't. Traditional Doctor Who was always entertaining, right? Again, even when they were dealing with issues, right? The entertainment was always the central point. It was never the platforming of like these stunning and brave, very important issues that that drove the show, and that's really what made it very boring. Ticking off social issues like boxes, yeah, box ticking, yeah, absolutely. Just done badly. Doctor Who still evidently has a Manchester spark on it. Just look at Vinny Patel's Demons of the Punjab. I am looking at that. What's imaginative about that? There was the what? Okay, took a real life event, added in boring aliens that didn't do anything, and a dull plot. I don't know, like what, like how imaginative was? I don't understand. I do not understand at all how you think that's imaginative. Or Maxine's orders in the Haunting of Villa Doriazi. Again, why do you think that was imaginative? Now, let me get it straight. I do think the Lone Sidemen was a good idea. I think it was a good idea, very, very badly done, but I think it was a good idea. I think the Sideman design was good, but yeah, that script was dull as ditch water, right? You had a Cyberman, you had this weird lone Cyberman in it. You had Byron, you had Mary Shelley. You know, you should have people doing coke off each other's asses while they're like inventing Frankenstein. No, what they do quadrilles. It was boring. I understand. How do you think both standout episodes for Whittaker's era? Again, oh man, I'd love to have him on my channel. Just ask him like, what? I think this is what I think is going on. I think this guy wants to like the Whittaker era. I wanted to like it too, but I think he wants to like it more than he wants to deal with reality in any way. So he's just committed. He's like for his point of view to be validated in any way. There's got to be some good episodes of the Jodie Whittaker era. I don't think there are. Really, that's the crushing bottom line. I just don't think there are any good episodes of the Jodie Whittaker era. Yeah, and that's a crushing and hard bar to get over, isn't it? These two are marvelous writers. Happily Maxine is apparently a core writer for the upcoming season 13. Well, okay, so if you do suffer from insomnia, there may be a cure for you. That's something to look forward to. And Whittaker is clearly charismatic. But no, she's not. What? I don't understand. Okay. If you say it needs to regenerate, and if people are calling for it to be to end, how is Whittaker charismatic and it well written? The two things don't go together, do they? The two things. Now, this is going to be a hard word for you to comprehend. Those two things contradict each other. Only one can really be true. Let me tell you what the true one is. Doctor Who with Chibnall and Whittaker is garbage. That's the true one. But it can fall flat without creatively ambitious showrunner who cannot keep the human heart of the show running. Okay, I think anything that you liked in those two stories came from Chris Chibnall. Again, Maxine the Alderson strip was dull as ditch walls, and Vinny Patel's Demon of Punjab. Again, dull as ditch walls. Whatever. I don't know. Yeah, I do know. I take it back. I do know. He's lying. He's lying. Too often it felt like Whittaker was made to channel other doctors unable to craft her own. She wasn't made to, she chose to. And she channeled David Tennant. She didn't channel anybody else. You want to see somebody channeling a doctor? Look at Peter Capaldi. He channeled other doctors. Whittaker didn't have a clue and remains not to have a clue. And again, people don't like saying that, and that's because she has a magic vagina that doesn't like to be criticized. Darling, it's nothing to do with your snatch. It's something to do with your acting ability or lack thereof. But maybe she could have been. Maybe she could have pulled it off. I really don't know, but not the way she's doing it. What Doctor Who needs is okay. So I'm now intrigued. If he thinks all this stuff was good, what's he going to say that the Doctor Who needs to regenerate into to succeed, right? Things that failed. And the reason you're having this meltdown is because it's failed completely. Needs next is a showrunner who can marry the crummy and extraordinary together, who's willing to get experimental and shake up the writers' room and the format. Honestly, I think one of the things you need to get rid of is the writers' room. Doctor Who has always worked better with individual voices being tempered by an overriding script editor. It's always been best that way. Or some kind of creative director in charge. The writers' room thing just didn't. Again, I'm just looking at what's happened. It hasn't gone down well. It hasn't worked very well. Who's willing to? Yeah. This is exactly what you need for a Doctor Who a showrunner, and it's exactly what Chibnall hasn't given you. But Chibnall gave you everything you asked for, right? This person, I guarantee you, this person wanted a stunning and brave woman to helm the TARDIS, right? That was this person's major point, major thing that they were. And Chibnall delivered every woke talking point that you wanted, and you realized that it's garbage, and you would have been fine with it had it been popular. The real problem is it's just crushingly unpopular, and you don't really like it being crushingly unpopular. What? Does it mind your school money, perchance? In short, get a little bit wibbly wobbly. Some have pegged Kablam and Praxis writer Pete McTeague as the clear choice. But let's not go with the obvious in-house white male writer for once. You cunt. I'm sorry. I think I'm using that word correctly. You utter cunt. Okay, you don't want to say he's no good because those stories were not very good. No, you want to say, let's not go with a white male for one. Like, how would you not view yourself as a racist piece of shit? Because that's what you are, a racist. What is this guy's name? Don't contact him, okay? Do not contact him. Seb Astley is from what he just wrote, seems to be a racist piece of shit to me. Let's look at the obvious God. I don't know. Would Pete McTeague be any good? It depends. If they maybe, I doubt it. Let's go left field. Unexpected. Okay, what you said is the most expected thing. Let's not go for the obvious in-house white male writer for once. It's the most expected thing that any of you idiots ever say. It's fresh blood and perspective that will keep the Who's human heart pumping. Maybe a vague understanding of what this freaking is, which you clearly none of you have. But even the most imaginative showrunner can't fix Doctor Who's greatest woe because there's a deeper issue holding the series back from its recent glory days. Okay, everything is holding it back from its recent glory days. So there is everything that you said is stunning and brave and fantastic. No, what truly plagues the show is a lack of promotion, with the BBC no longer shown off as a flagship show it should be for the BBC. Well, again, I think we can put that all down to Mr. Chibnall, can't we? Mr. I am uncomfortable in my own skin. I am not a cis person, Chibnall. Yeah, it's got to be run by the showrunner. It's got to be pushed by the showrunner. The showrunner doesn't want to do it, so it doesn't happen. Frankly, in recent years, it feels like Doctor Who marketing has dwindled more and more. Okay, the reason you see it a lot less now is because it's a lot less popular. The reason it's a lot less popular is because it's shit! Doctor Who Experience has disappeared. Yes, because it's less popular. Gone are the days of the World Cup final first look reveals. Again, because it's not popular. I like to put Trump was popular, successful. You can't put can't you put this together? We even had unique live event to unveil Peter Capaldi. What happened to this hype? Jodie Whittaker and Chibnall happened to this. Okay, if you hadn't spent the last 3 years calling everybody who had legitimate criticism bigots, you wouldn't be asking this sodding question. What happened this hype? Supposedly this is because the BBC makes a decision based on public interest. Yes, which has dwindled. But Doctor Who is essentially a quintessentially British icon that has been dismantled. Would supporting and upholding a British icon, including one that generates millions of merchandise, arsehole. One of the metrics that indicates this era of Doctor Who has fallen off the cliff is their merchandising. Their merchandise doesn't sell. Classic merchandise sells. That's why we still have classic. I mean, it sells to fans. Doesn't sell to a mainstream anymore because Doctor Who's not interesting to mainstream anymore. Why? Exhibit Nay over here. I mean, look at this. I mean, like. Look, what was it? John Bishop? I can't remember his name. Yeah, John Bishop is like, hey, Chuck, I can't do this for a few weeks. It's a job. And Jodie Whittaker is, I'm so smug because I'm the smuggest ever. And Yaz is like, look at me being stunning and brave, and I'm going to scissor with the Doctor. Yeah, darling, please. I really hope they go that way. I really hope they go that way. Generates millions. Book and spin-off media doesn't fall under interest. You're right. It should do. It should, doesn't it? Is it a hint that it does? Is it a hint to you that it's not doing that? Can you not work it out? No, you can't. You can't. Yeah, this guy has the whiff of an overeducated moron to me. Overeducated morons are the things that are destroying the world, in my opinion. The BBC have announced a centenary blockbuster special to bookend the Whittaker departure in 2022. I think this is I think that might be the thing that actually destroys the BBC. Right? I think Doctor Who has become the face of everything that everybody hates the BBC for. Right? And again, if this guy would get his head out of his arse for 1 second and talk to people with outside his teeny tiny little bubble, he might understand that. It feels like a step in the right direction, but the corporation must keep walking that way if it believes that Doctor Who reflects this celebration of the company. Doctor Who very much does reflect the corporation right now. Make a spectacle out of the newly hired writers. But okay, you should be talking to Chibnall again. Chibnall is a master in not being able to market his show. Even at the Comic-Con appearance, which they didn't announce their departure because they're freaking morons. Even at the Comic-Con thing, they could have announced Weeping Angels as Moffat announced it a few days later. But not Chibnall, because he's I want to surprise people. No one's going to tune in to be surprised because they know when they tune in they're going to see your Dredd. I want to surprise people. No, it's not really working out, is it, mate? He could have announced Daleks. We've seen the Daleks. We could have announced Sontarans. We've seen the Sontarans. Everybody knows, moron. All that will do is generate interest. But no, just doesn't want to do it. I think you if you're looking for the person who has lost interest in Doctor Who, look no further than Cardiff. Go and check out Chris Chibnall. He's the one I think has lost interest in promoting his show. Make a spectacle. Newly hired writers. Great build-up announcement of new companions of the new Doctor. Craft installation and delightfully bizarre new monster and put it in Trafalgar Square again. Nobody gives a shit about Doctor Who anymore. Because, I mean, okay, that is the thing you have to be able to acknowledge. You know, without doing that, you can't fix anything. And with just one well-executed publicity, you can light the global fire of anticipation. But then, if you get people to tune in, they'll see this. They'll see Whittaker, and they'll go like, "Oh, I'm not really into that." And again, that's the delusion you need to get through. Man, you are. I hope you're enjoying your vacation. Well, you know where you are? You're in Egypt. You know how I know you're in Egypt? Because you're deep in denial, mate. Deep in denial. With in recent years, some have claimed Doctor Who's irrelevancy, but this couldn't be further from the truth. It's a global phenomenon with Comic-Con panels cozying up with Marvel and DC. Yeah, listen, do you make good Doctor Who? People will like it. That's true. I agree with him. With its own after show discussing the program in Australia. Yeah, we used to have that here. Don't you remember Doctor Who Confidential? I do. Doctor Who prides itself on creative experimentation and dedication to the human condition, and it never needed epic budgets or monolithic production values for that. Yeah, but it doesn't reflect humanity right now. It reflects Twitter. And I can't think of anything further from humanity than Twitter. Midnight, Turn Left, Waters of Mars, Heaven Sent, all incredible episodes because of the bold and imaginative minds that dared experiment with storytelling formula and the fabric of the show. Listen, they've experimented plenty. It's just everything they've done is shit. Don't you remember when they had like squeeze all the exposition into a small animated section that wasn't very good? Do you recall that? Because I do. So the beauty of, again, you keep saying, well, it's not doing what it should be doing, but everything they've done is great. Hey, mate, you're bonkers McBonkers, okay? That's where you are. You are bonkers McBonkers. The beauty of Doctor Who is the unwavering commitment to transformation and experimentation, in essence, regeneration. However, if you don't have the strong showrunner steering the ship in a clear direction, again, if you think this last era was the best as ever, was stunning and brave, was fantastic, why would you want to go in any other direction than where he steered? And your expectation isn't shown off the world. Basically, you just like Jodie Whittaker because she has a vagina, and you acknowledge everything around her is garbage. You just like her vagina. I mean, look, I have to tell you, I'm the kind of person who likes vagina too. You know, I don't get me wrong, I do. I really, really, really do. But it's not going to make me say Doctor Who is good when it's bad. I mean, and this is speaking from somebody who really likes vagina. I would say I like vagina more than I like Doctor Who, and I super like Doctor Who. Okay, this is a bit of a personal revelation for me. And still, the power of magic vagina cannot make me go, oh, Orphan 55 was an entertaining experience. It just can't. Listen, if you ever can find a vagina that can make you think Orphan 55 was an entertaining experience, then grab onto that vagina, never let it go. That vagina is your friend, mate. That vagina will make everything good. However, if you don't have a blah, 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 the course will seem like it's lost, bound to sink, and right now Doctor Who is taking on water. But how? You're saying everything it's doing is right. I don't know what that. It's just the BBC. People blame the show themselves and not the person steering. What? That's like saying being mad at a cartoon mouse because you don't like the way he's dancing. He's not dancing. People are making it's a series of drawings. Okay, it's like it can't think for itself. It's the showrunner that runs it. It's the hint is in the title, showrunner. Anyway, so there you go. Another day, another bonkers. Thank you, Doctor Who. Thank you, Doctor Who, for never shying away from the sheer insanity that has created you. It keeps you going. My name's Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring the little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop.